I am Lucas Clawson, historian at Hagley Museum and Library, and this is Hagley from Home. One of the most interesting and adventurous stories of the American Civil War involves this fellow, Robert Smalls. He was a slave aboard a ship called the Planter, which was the boat for Confederate General Roswell Ripley, who commanded the defenses of Charleston, South Carolina. It was Ripley's personal boat. Robert Smalls cooked up an idea so that he and the rest of the crew, who were also enslaved, could steal the boat and get it away to the U.S. Navy South Atlantic Blockading Squadron, which were just outside of Charleston. On May 13, 1862, Robert and the rest of the crew fired up the Planter's boilers, steamed the ship over to an adjacent dock where all of their families were waiting, got them all aboard, and sailed right out of Charleston Harbor. Robert Smalls supposedly looked a lot like the steamboat's captain, so he stood at the wheelhouse and gave the correct signals, and even went so close to Fort Sumter to be able to exchange words with the guards on the way out. The closest U.S. Navy ship was called the USS Onward. They saw this Confederate boat coming out at full steam, and they cleared their decks for action, ready to take on whatever was coming. The entire crew were surprised when they saw that everyone aboard were black. They weren't white. What's going on? Robert Smalls came aboard the USS Onward and explained what happened. The captain of the Onward was so amazed and surprised that they took Robert Smalls immediately to Port Royal, South Carolina, to meet Samuel Francis du Pont. Samuel Francis du Pont was so impressed that he brought Robert Smalls into the U.S. Navy. He ended up making him the pilot on one of the ironclad ships to help him make an attack into Charleston Harbor the next year. Samuel Francis du Pont actually had this tintype of Robert Smalls made, so this is Admiral du Pont's personal tintype of Robert Smalls. Robert went on to command the steamboat Planter the rest of the war, and ended up going into the South Carolina General Assembly and even the United States House of Representatives. So he went on to have an absolutely distinguished career, and it all started in Charleston Harbor, stealing a steamboat.